Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Board of Zoning Appeals, July the 26th, regular meeting. We do have a quorum with us. It's good to see. If you'd read over the minutes, please, if you would, and I'll take a recommendation on the minutes.
I'll make a motion we accept them as is.
Motion to accept, have a second.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, minutes are approved. On to old business, building setback variance requested by JMC Surveying on behalf of Linda Mechanic, property located at 115 Sunset.
At the last minute, I was informed by the surveyor that they're asking for a deferral for this item. This item was deferred last month. There is a disagreement between the surveyor and the applicant. So they've asked to defer this one more month to August.
So this will be the second deferral.
Yes.
All right, moving on to new business, building setback variance requested by JMC Surveying on behalf of Linda Mechanic.
This is the same. Both variances go with the same property, and again, this one has been asked to be deferred till August. This will be the first deferral for this specific item.
Okay, moving on, number 3, rear building setback variance requested by Andy Martin.
Okay, this item is a rear building setback variance. It's requested by Andy Martin of Athens Construction, who is present, and Ron and Marilyn Wint, who are also present. They are currently the owners of 1662 Allendale, and due to some health issues that Mrs. Wint has, they really need a one-story ADA accessible home. They have identified 1804 Turner, which is the vacant parcel just south of the water tower at the intersection of Ben Hill and Turner. And upon applying for their building permit, they realized that a small portion of the rear wall of the home extends into the rear setback. This is McFarland Point, Section 9. I can show you right here. This is their proposed residence. You can see that the rear property line juts into the property about 41 feet before it heads north again. So for them to have a one-story floor plan that's ADA accessible, this is the building layout that they needed. And again, you can see the 25-foot building setback line here. You can see there's about an 8.84 encroachment on the left portion and about 6 feet on the right portion. So they're asking for that, I guess it would be a 17-foot variance. They don't have 17 feet left in the setback as opposed to 25. They also do have a public utility and drainage easement that runs, it's 20 feet, and then a 15-foot access easement that also runs on their rear property line. The access easement will not be touched, and there's a very small wedge here of the PUDE that would be encroached upon if they were to go with this layout as submitted. There was a sign on this property now for, I believe it's been nearly a month, and I've had numerous phone calls from the neighbors, but all of them gave verbal approval of the Wint's request. And they are here again if you have any specific questions.
Do we have any questions from the applicant?
I'm just concerned about the easements down the line. They're not going to, if the city has to go in there on those easements, there's not going to be any kind of issue with the structure already being there.
Just go over that. The city easement is still clear, correct? Hasn't been changed. 15 feet still there?
The 15-foot access easement, like Kristen said, it's not touched. Now the 20-foot easement, it is encroached upon probably
That little triangle.
maybe 5 feet at the most, and where it really makes that point. So that's that, but it's in just that one corner.
Do you see an issue with the way it's laid out?
You know, anything could happen in the future. I don't foresee one today, but there is. It doesn't show it on this plan, but there is a think it's lot 193. It's got a 10-foot easement on the back of it. So, but the thing about it is there's a 15-foot access easement because there's not really any utility lines back there. It's more, I think, basically for lot drainage is kind of what it was intended for. Which this is, besides the water tower, this lot and the lot behind it is the first lots that start draining that way. So I don't think there's much of a defined ditch or anything like that there at this moment.
So you don't foresee that there would be a drainage problem to this house or the neighbors' houses if they went with this? I mean, anything can happen, but I mean, just because of,
As long as they do it right, I don't see that there would be one, but, you know, if there is a slight ditch in this area and they put the house there, then yeah, if it's encroaching in it, then yeah, it would stop the flow of the water.
It's on a hillside, right?
Yeah, it's on the hill, it's at the very top of the hill.
okay.
You know, that's what I was saying, the water tower, this lot, and then the lot behind them would be the very top of the hill. Both, as you can see.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for the board?
No.
With that, I'll speak. Anyone want to speak for or against it? No one doing that. I'll take a motion to accept or deny as submitted.
I make a motion to accept.
We have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, moving on. Accessory structure variance requested by Law Inspector. Susanna.
Thank you. This is an accessory structure variance requested by Lori Fisher, who owns the property at 202 Babe Ruth Cove. That is the Cedar Ridge PUD that is zoned R2S. And this is, again, the R2S is a medium-density grandfathered district. Her property is 0.14 acres. You can see she has a very small little lot here that fronts on the Babe Ruth cul-de-sac. And she is asking for an accessory structure variance for one corner to allow herself to be able to install a pool and an associated hot tub off their rear deck, which is existing currently. And there is a drainage easement that runs along the rear property line. It's 10 feet. The proposed swimming pool, as you can see here, excuse me. This is the rear property line. Here is the 10-foot easement. This is the proposed decking, the 15-foot pool, which is the smallest pool they can purchase, and the associated hot tub. This is their existing back porch deck. So as you can see, it will be located in the rear yard, but there's only 8 feet between the edge of the pool to the deck here, whereas there's 11 feet here, and there's more than adequate, more than 10 feet there, since accessory structures have to be in the rear yard, and they have to be 10 feet from all property lines. So she almost makes it, but needs a couple feet granted right in this vicinity to allow her to put the pool there. There will be a rail, lock and gate surrounding the pool as required. Again, the drainage easement will not be encroached upon. There's been a sign on the property for more than a month now, and I have not received a single phone call from any of the neighbors. And Ms. Fletcher is here tonight to answer any questions, should you have any.
Board have any questions?
Is there a fence around the actual lot or just around the pool area, the deck area?
We are going to put an additional fence on the property line, even though the deck is going to be well above the 48-inch requirement, just because of the kids up there at the park. So it'll all be fenced off.
Looks like a nice plan.
Any other questions from the board?
No.
Anybody else want to speak for or against this in the public? With that, I'll take a motion to accept.
I make a
We're done.
motion to accept.
We have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right.
All business been taken care of, we'll call this meeting adjourned.